what we're working on tonight, and the reason why I wanted to come to you guys with this video, is this is the second car I've gotten, or tune file I should say, I've gotten this week with the same problem, where there's a surge under transient driving. So as the person's driving down the road, just under normal driving, the car wants to surge in and out of throttle, essentially. You can feel kind of an air surge. It's annoying, it's jerky. The car isn't right, it's very irritating. And basically what that is someone got a hold of the tune file and they tried to delete the IMRCs without physically deleting them in the intake manifold runners. And I'll show you guys that here in a second. We jump back into the intake itself. But I think what happens is a lot of guys think they can just go right into the tune file. I'll show you guys that right now, actually. So just a quick run through, just very high level. We're in the IMRC tab. We're just an HP tuners on this one, but there's a section in here for airflow and IMRC, intake manifold runner control. And I think a lot of guys are thinking that they can just go in and force these open. And so the last two tunes I've fixed for another shop we work with, who didn't do the tuning on these, we fixed them by just recalibrating the tune file. But I think the person that had a hold of these before was trying to force the IMRCs open, maybe for more power, I'm guessing. And they just did this through the tune. And so they essentially pretended as though the IMRCs were removed and forced them open at 100%, disabled the switch and everything else. And what happens is, these cars have so much logic in them. You can't just go into the tune file and just manipulate something like that carries a ton of logic. And the reason for that is these IMRCs, if you guys can see, again, vacuum solenoid driven. Obviously this is off the car, so I'm not gonna be able to show you that. This side's broken. This came off of a Gen 2 car that we added a supercharger to. I can't see to get that to go. We added a supercharger to, there you go. I'm just pushing that solenoid, or that lever down that the vacuum solenoid is going to be driving when it's in the car. And you guys can see as I push that down, it's moving the IMRC runner flaps right inside the intake. So it's opening and closing those. And again, as I said, the Ford Coyote logic uses multiple map points to control this logic on when these should be open, when they should be closed, when they should be partially open and closed. And so the problem is just by going into the tune and adjusting that, the car, it runs off vacuum, so it's not running off electronics necessarily. There is some electronics involved, but the problem with that is it's all messed up. If you go into the tune file and just do the tune, which what I just showed you guys wasn't a correct IMRC delete anyways, it was just a partial delete in the tune file. But don't delete them in the car itself. It's gonna have drivability issues like crazy. It's not gonna run right. It's not gonna have the right power either. It's really not gonna accomplish, I think, what this group was trying to do. So you've got to if you're gonna delete the IMRCs, they've got to be locked out on the actual intake manifold, and then they've got to be calibrated appropriately. And to be calibrated appropriately, there's going to be a ton of adjustments that you're going to make in the tune. So to mess with really any of these Coyote motors, you really want to be working with a tuner that is extremely familiar with the Coyote logic. It uses a ton of advanced logic in the tune file for IMRCs, for camshafts, really everything within the tune file. It's using quite a bit of advanced logic, and all of that logic plays well together. And so when you try to do one or the other, you find it doesn't play well together. And that's what we found on the last two cars that came through that we fixed. Was just someone just tried to adjust the tune. I think they were probably just trying to push a little bit more power and thought that might do it, where their goal was to force these open. So what you guys are looking at right now is completely wide open intake manifold runner controls, or flaps. They're wide open, they're gonna let all the air through. And again, as I said, the problem is the logic in the tune is not designed to have these open all the time unless you're gonna tune for it. And if you just tune for it, you gotta lock them out, because if you don't lock them out, you're gonna get these flaps opening and closing on a vacuum. And that's just not gonna correlate well with the ECU. And so jumping from there, now that I've got this open, kind of want to show you guys the purpose of deleting the IMRCs and some of the things that can happen on a lot of these cars. Again, an IMRC delete is traditionally done on a boosted application, supercharged application, turbocharged application, something creating forced induction. And it's because a lot of that forced induction can really ruin or damage the flaps. These are just plastic controls. The flaps are plastic, the actuators are just plastic vacuum based. And even the levers are just plastic. So it's all just plastics. And when you're pushing a ton of boost through these cars and making 1,000 wheel, these things do not last. And when you're running E85, you're running the car a little bit leaner or richer or whatever, you're really manipulating a lot of the force that's coming through here, and they just don't last. So the best thing you can do is delete them on a boosted application. But some guys on the flip side, when they're really pushing max effort on the NA side or naturally aspirated side, they also want to delete them as well. And this is a reason why we recommend guys to delete these really when they're thinking about it. Now, as I say that, if you're just running a regular NA setup that's just minor bolt-ons, I would not delete these. They do a good job of helping maintain some low-end torque. We'll tune out all of that and we'll give you back all that low-end torque if you do decide to delete these. So it's not a big deal if you do from a power standpoint, but the drivability can be kind of tricky on IMRC deletes. We do a really good job of going into the calibration and data logging and revising as appropriate to make sure that the car drives as good as it did brand new and also has max effort power. But you can just run into all kinds of problems, and when you don't need to delete them, don't delete them. But if you're running a major max effort bolt-on, full bolt-on setup or FBO, and or you're running a boosted setup, you've got to delete these things. And this is one of the main reasons why a lot of guys delete them. Even all of that aside, is check this out, guys. So on this side, I just showed you guys the flap. If I can just show you one more time. I'm just pushing that lever down and it's actuating the flaps. Those are opening. They're open all the way right now, and now they're all the way closed. Open, closed. So check this side out. This side is fully open, and I'm just gonna reach down here and play with this lever, and you guys can see it right here. I'm on the lever. I'm closing and opening. It's stuck, it's failed open, which is a rare occurrence. Usually these fail closed, which is really the worst case scenario. But either way, once they fail, and it's best just to delete them right out or just swap the manifold. So you guys can see, if you can see, that's the flap right there. It's that groove right there. That flap is sitting in the inlet, and that should, when I press this lever down, you can hear that vacuum solenoid moving around in there, that pressure valve. And look at that, they're not moving at all. This intake manifold runner is stuck open, it's failed open. Either something's broken in the lever or the actuator, and or the flaps are just stuck. They're oiled shut. They're basically just glued against there essentially at this point. And that happens a lot. This is a Gen 2 manifold off of a 112,000 mile Mustang that we swapped for a Boss intake manifold when we did the supercharger install, and rightfully so. I mean, it was time to switch that anyways when he was going boost, but I'm glad we did, because the customer didn't even know about this, and these were stuck. They were failed shut. So that's why you want to delete these things for the most part, is because they fail quite often. And this is a 112,000 mile intake manifold, but you know, I've seen it happen on some of the newer ones, some of the newer intake manifolds with only 30, 40,000 miles on them, especially when they go boosted. So these don't last. It's all plastics. So if you get the chance to delete them, do it. They've got to be fully tuned and calibrated. You can't just go into the tune file and turn off or force them open and just turn off a few switches. It does not work. There's a whole host of IMRC and variable camshaft tables that need to be adjusted in the tune file to get these to run appropriate, to idle appropriate, to drive smoothly without surging, and then to have max effort wide open throttle power. So delete your IMRCs if and when you can, unless you're running a light FBO or a light bolt-on setup. If you're full bolt-on or you're boosted, delete them and reach out to me, reach out to us at P1 Tuners. and we can calibrate this for you guys and get it right. If you're running into an issue on your Mustang or your Coyote swap or anything else where it's surging or it's being funny, and you just can't get to the bottom of it, reach out to us as well. We've got a host of advanced calibrations and data logging software that we work with a lot of Ford dealerships as well and help them get to the root of some of the problems that they run into, even on some of the newer stuff. So if we can help you guys out, you're running into an issue, just reach out to us, and we'd be happy to take a look at some data logs for free and see if we can dive into the problem and help you figure it out. All right, guys, have a good one.